your roll downs again. So I actually don't have a wall in here that is free, apart from this little tiny one over here. So you may be able to see me, you may not, but I can explain anyway. So your feet are going to, how far away your feet are against the wall will be determined on if you can keep your back straight. If you don't have a wall, just do normal roll downs. Okay, yep, so just do normal roll downs again. Now, if you do have that wall or a door or anything, just bottom against, okay, and then curling down. It's not, it's you, Al, it's you, it's your sound, because everyone else can hear me.
It was not very clear.
It's not very clear.
No, it keeps echoing or cuts out now and then.
That should be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just send Ali a chat. Okay, so with that back against the wall, yep. And then make this your last one and roll yourself all the way up to the top, please. Now, if you are against the wall, you will stay against the wall. If you're not, you're going to do it freestanding. I'm going to show you freestanding. So you have a nice wide position through the feet. Your back is against the wall, your bottom is against the wall. And you're going to squat down into a sumo squat. So your knees are going to go wide, but you can see my knees are tracking, so they're over my ankles. And then you're going to bring your arms up into this position. So keep your bottom in neutral. And then you're going to side bend, slide over, try and keep those elbows against the wall. If you haven't got a wall, you're just going to do what I'm doing. Okay, so you sort of look a bit like a demented Pac-Man. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Karen, definitely you need your feet wider. Definitely. So that's putting loads of pressure into your knees like that. So push your knees out. That's better. Think goddess squat. That's it. Okay. Now really push those heels apart. Okay. Yeah, really push them apart. That's it. Oh, it's tough, isn't it? Yeah, so try and keep those elbows and wrists glued to the wall. Simon's getting attacked by the cat. Okay, then holding that position, if you are against the wall, what you're going to do is walk your feet in, bottom against the wall, back against the wall, and your feet are going to be, so I can't really show you. I can probably show you on this. Yep, so your bottom, you're going to sit down into a 90-degree angle. Yeah, as though you're sitting in a chair. Now, if you don't have a wall, you're just going to hold the squat position. Okay, yeah, and you're going to try and go as low as you can. Yeah, making sure that there's no pressure in the knees. Yeah, and if you're in that 90 position, your back is against the wall. So you have right angles. You have right angles through the hip and right angles through the back of the knee. That's it. Yeah, so just make sure you don't get a doorknob up your bum there. Okay. Who said that? Penny?
Penny, yeah.
Don't come down quite so low, and make sure you're pushing into your heels, and make sure your heels are underneath your knees and your knees aren't going too far forwards. So you should have right angles through the back of your knees. Yeah, now your quads.
If I go down there, then that's hurting.
So don't go too low. Everyone else needs to come up. Sorry, because you're going to be screaming. Yeah. Okay, so come up out of that one. Yeah, and now what you're going to do is take your little tiny dino band and wrap it around your wrist like this. Okay, So you are going to find, I'm going to get you going on this one, but you're going to find that squat position again. Yeah, so if you're against the wall, let me just explain this one first. We don't want to keep you in that too long. Palms are going to face in, elbows glued into the side. I'm going to pull the band apart, making sure that you squeeze the elbows into the sides and you pull through your back. Now, if you're against the wall, yep, you're going to be sitting against the wall into that wall squat as you do these external rotations, or just stand, okay, or hover squat. So there should be no pressure in the knees. You're sitting backwards as though you're sitting in a chair, especially if you're against the wall. So glue those elbows into your side there, Penny. Yep. There should be no space between your elbow and your side. Okay. I'm just going to send Ali a quick message because she's looking very puzzled. So once you've done those, come up and just stretch out those legs. Okay, give those legs a little bit of a shake there. Right, so next, we're going to go into, you can use, if you have a chair, you can use a chair. If you have a wall, you can use the wall. If you have a sideboard, you can use a sideboard. Okay, I'm just going to bring one hand on here, and you're going to have your hand just lower than shoulder height. You're going to have your foot so that when you lean over, this underneath leg is vertical. So you can hold onto whatever you want to. I literally don't care. Okay. Yeah. So what I do care about is that you're in a straight line, and when you lean, your spine stays nice and straight, and this hip stays facing the front. So you're going to squeeze this underneath glute forwards. So it's not like I'm leaning like this, so my leg, yeah. Underneath leg stays nice and straight. Then flex the foot. I'm going to lift that leg. So I need that body not to go with it there, Lorna. So at the moment you're doing this. Yeah, so keep the body straight, just lift the leg. That's it, much better. No momentum, please. So Chris, you need to lean over into it for me. Lean over, that's it. Please don't swing the leg. There's a lot of swinging the leg going on. Control it just like we would in torpedo, laying down onto the mat. That's it, that's it. That's it. Keep the torso nice and still. Yep. Okay. Try not to swing that leg for me there, Chris. Okay, so you, just to say, you wouldn't do a torpedo on the mat that quick, would you? Okay, you would lift and control it, and that's what we're looking for. Right, so hold the leg up, 8 circles forwards. Try and keep the hip nice and still. That's it. And then 8 circles back. Keep this underneath hip pushing forwards. Oh, these are fun after training legs today. Yeah. Okay. Then same leg is going to come backwards, but now what you're going to do is face towards whatever you're holding. You're still working that same leg. You're going to hinge over as much as you feel like you can. Then it's going to be a bent leg as we kick up, but make sure that pelvis stays neutral. So it's push that heel up to the ceiling. That's it, just like you would do in a 4-point kneeling position. Watch that lumbar arch there for me, AD. Yeah, really squeeze that bottom to the sky so you can feel that glute really nice and active. Just try not to open through the hips. Okay, good. So same leg. We're going to come up with the leg backwards and then around in a big circle. So a little bit like a fire hydrant, but the opposite way. So back, out and around. Yeah, back, out and around. Keep the pelvis as stable as you can and really use the underneath leg. That's it. So that standing leg should really be having to work super, super, super hard to stabilize through the hip. The working leg should be working very hard through the glute. Otherwise, what you're doing is rolling and just doing a hip mobility drill, which is, we're trying to have more strength here. Okay, right, so give that leg a little bit of a shake, give the other leg a little bit of a shake, so you should feel it both sides. Yeah, okay, so other side. Yeah, so we start in this sort of side hinge position, almost like a side, sort of like a side plank. Okay, then it's lift and lower. Remember, no moving the pelvis. Yeah, please, no momentum. So exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower, you're still keeping that tension, and you're pushing that underneath hip forwards. So Chris, much slower, much slower, much slower. That's it, that's it. Yeah, really work through that underneath leg, keep pushing that glute forwards for me. That's it. Try and push your hips forwards there, Karen. Yeah, okay, then 8 circles forwards with a pointed toe. That's it. So pelvis stable. Okay, and then 8 circles back. Really work through this underneath hip. Should be burning. Yeah. Okay. Right, come in round, facing the wall. Bent leg kick ups. Try not to lean too much against the wall and keep that pelvis level. So when you kick that leg up, it's with the flex foot. We're going to make sure that we keep that lumbar control. That's it. So keep the pelvis nice and stable. That's it. Exhale as you kick. Really work through that standing leg as well. And then when we've done 8 of those, we're going back into that kick, then up and over like into a fire hydrant. So back into the kick, up and over. Yeah, and you've got a tray of drinks on your back. So get the whole of the glute active. You don't want to spill that tray of drinks there. Okay, so 8 of those. Yep. I know, they're nasty. Okay, so with our band, bring the band around the ankles and take your ball or your pillow and come to one edge of your mat. You're going to hold the ball in front of you or the pillow, whatever you've got. So you have flats of the hand onto the ball. Now, when you step, so we're going to be doing these step outs. Every time you step, it's going to be super slow, super controlled, and you're going to exhale, squeeze into the ball. So what we're going to start to do is squeeze into the ball first before we even do any steps. So it'll be an inhale to prepare and an exhale. Just breath out, squeeze into the ball, and you can see that my arms are bent. So when we're squeezing in, I want you to feel like you're activating your deep core muscles here. Okay, so you're squeezing and really activating the core. Pelvic floor should be firing. Low band of work across the core. That's it. Okay. Right, now we're going to put the walk together with the squeeze. So it'll be inhale, exhale, step out. Inhale, exhale, step out, inhale to reset. Okay, so inhale to prepare, exhale. So basically when you exhale, you're going squeeze, open, step, inhale to change. So it's pretty slow. Okay, it is pretty slow. Otherwise it'll just be a, you know, like we normally do it. So we're looking for control with these ones. Yeah, so you should be able to feel like there's, it's actually quite difficult to coordinate all of those things at the same time. The breath, the squeeze, the step, and the abduction. Yeah. Okay, so it's quite difficult. Yeah. And then obviously if you got to one end of your mat, I can see some of you going back the other way. So back the other way. Okay. So I'd just like you to do 2 journeys each direction about. Yeah, so obviously everyone's breath is slower. Just penny, shoulders away from the ears, please, sweetie. That's it. So try not to hike up. Yeah, really pull them down. If you can keep those legs straight. That's it, very nice. Okay. I should imagine that is about your 2 journeys each way. Yeah, so Karen, if that's making your back a bit iffy, okay, yeah, so what we want to do is make sure that the breath is there. We're not pushing too far out onto that leg. So just tiny little movements for you, just making sure it's the glute and you're not firing up through the QL on the other side. Okay, right, so I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you facing this way. Now, if you have a wall, what you are going to do is get really close to the wall. So your bottom is touching the wall and your legs are up the wall. Okay, if you don't have a wall, then you've got a chair maybe. So you want your bottom in line with your knees, your feet on the chair. If you don't have a chair and you have a sofa or a sofa arm or a bed or whichever room you're in, and if you have nothing you can put your feet on, and you can't put your feet on the wall, legs up, then you're just going to have your feet to the floor. Okay, and there's no other way around it. Right, so your legs are either going to be straight up the wall or they're going to be bent and on something. What we're looking for is to try and make sure that the bottom is, so the pelvis is neutral. Okay, so I'm just going to let everyone just shuffle around a little bit. It's a little bit of a challenging one. Elaine, are your feet, have you got something underneath your knees? Or is that space empty? Ah, it's empty, I couldn't see. Are you able to bring your legs up? Come closer so your bottom is touching your sideboard. Okay, now I know I've lost a couple of you off screen. That's totally fine. Okay, so legs up or in a double knee fold, supported on something. Now from this position, what we're going to do is think about tucking the pelvis. Yeah, so you're actually going to do a little pelvic roll. So you're going to draw that pelvis up and away by pushing your feet either against the wall or down onto the surface you're on. And if you haven't got anything in your feet or onto the floor, it's just going to be a little pelvic tilt. Okay, does everyone know what I mean by that? Yeah, okay, perfect. So you're trying to rock your pelvis. Oh, poor Al is trying to do this all on sign language. Yep, so it's pelvic tuck. Now from that position, wherever you are, your feet are on the wall, your feet are on the surface, whatever, you're going to try and roll yourself up into like a bridge. Now, make sure that there is no pressure on your neck. If your legs are up the wall and it doesn't work, move yourself away so your feet are flat on the wall. Yep, and then you're going to push through your heels and roll yourself up to an elevated bridge. Ignore that leg reach. Okay, both feet stay on. Sorry, I just had cramp in the back of my hamstring. Okay, so you're pushing through your heels. You've got that pelvic tilt, and you're going to roll the spine up into an elevated bridge and then roll down. Now check you're not putting any pressure on your neck here, please. You're not putting any pressure onto the neck at all. So you should almost be able to lift your head off. You're just coming up to the upper back. You might benefit, Terry, from bringing your heels a bit closer on that chair. So you can actually push your heels down a bit more rather than your calves. Yeah, it won't activate your calves so much then. Be more glutes and spine. You might need your bottom closer, but just your feet further in. Yeah, so if that makes any sense. Okay. Now, those that have disappeared off camera, I'm guessing that you're all okay. So if you need to take your sound off and shout me, please do, if you're not sure. Okay, right, so shuffle yourself away from the surface you're on and just give yourself some hip rolls side to side, please. Yep. So just a couple of hip rolls. You just need to sort of move your bottom back so your feet can sort of come to the floor and then roll side to side. And we are going to resume that position in a moment. But you're going to be using the band and the ball. So when you're just doing your little bit of rolling around, grab your band, grab your ball or your pillow or whatever you've got. Okay, I know everybody's got a band, but I know everyone hasn't got a ball. So the band is going to be around the thighs. Yep, so you're going to bring that band up over the thighs. And then resume the position that you were just in and make sure you have your ball with you as well, please, or your pillow. I'll just wait for everyone to shuffle back. So you remember that your heels are on something or they're against the wall. And you're laying flat on your back, and I'm looking at you upside down now. Right, so reach the ball or pillow up to the sky, straight arms, so it's above your sternum. And what you're going to do is start to push the heels into the wall or the chair or whatever. Roll those hips up into a high bridge. Open the band and squeeze the ball. Okay, it's really not good after leg day. Sorry, I keep getting cramp. Yep, so you're gonna roll up, squeeze the ball, open the band, push the hips nice and high. Close to inhale. Stay high, exhale to open, squeeze the ball. Inhale to come back. Exhale to open. Really squeeze the bottom nice and high here and squeeze that ball when you come up. So you're trying to stay high in this position. Yeah, Terry, door might be an option for you, or yeah. Okay, so stay high with those hips. There's no roll with this one. You're just high, it's open. Go on, really squeeze into that band with the glutes and press the ball together as you exhale. And then when you've done good 8 to 10, you should feel like everything is working nicely. Okay, and then come down and find yourself in a position on your mat. Now, we don't need the wall for this one, but we do need the ball and we do need the band exactly in the position that it's in already. So all you need to do is just maneuver your body so you're away from the wall or the chair or whatever. Okay. Right, so back onto your back, pretty much in the same position that you have just been in. And then hold the ball up over your head. Now, if at any time this gets uncomfortable through your neck, you'll just need to do this without the ball squeeze, holding the head. Okay, right, so from there, the band is around the thighs. Exhale, pull the leg into single knee fold and squeeze the ball. Place the leg down, exchange the other side. So there should be a little bit of resistance on that band when you draw the knee up. It's not a massive amount, but there should just be a bit. Concentrate on the pelvic, the pelvis position staying neutral. And that breath out and that squeeze when you elevate the leg. Now try not to hike the hip. Yeah, so nice control. Okay. So from there, we're going to take the leg up, pause, and bring the other leg up as well. So you're in a double knee fold. Now, if this is too strong, you're just going to do it with one leg down or even both toes on the floor. Try and just lower your heels a little bit to make sure your shins are parallel with the ceiling. So we want 2 right angles, one through the hip, one through the back of the knee. Now bring the heels together. Exhale as you open the band apart. So it's basically like a double knee fold, double oyster. Yeah, so you're going to squeeze the heels together, open the band apart, push into that ball. Make sure there's no doming through the core. So you are making sure pelvis stays neutral. Yeah, you squeeze the heels together and open out to the side with those knees. Yep. So if the band's not quite working for you, go wider. Take it higher up towards the knees. Squeeze. Okay, exactly the same thing, but this time we come to a curl up. So we open the knees, curl up, squeeze the ball. Inhale, knees come back together, head comes down, head and shoulders come down. Exhale. Squeeze, open, reach, curl. In some sort of order like that. Yeah, so it's probably more like squeeze, breath out, lift, open. Yeah, trying to talk at the same time is quite challenging with that one. So really squeeze those heels in together. That's it. As you open those knees out to the side. Like I said, if there's any pressure on the neck, you just need to support the head. Okay, so from there, keep the legs in a double knee fold, frog the feet, pull the knees apart. If you need to put the feet flat on the floor, you will. Take the ball up and over your head. Now keep the biceps by the ears and curl up. So you're reaching the ball over your head this time and then back down. Yep. Reach the ball over your head, curl up. Now I'm going to add on here, if you wish. If this is too strong, bring the feet to the floor. Okay, now you're in a frog leg position. So when you curl up, you're going to see if you can take the legs away into full frog. Come back in, open the knees. Yeah, so you curl up into that hollow position with the frog leg, and then come back in into frog knee. Does that make sense?
No.
No, okay. Right, let me turn so I'm facing on an angle so you can see. Yeah, so I'm here, here. Okay, it's pretty strong. That's it, that's it. So Chris, take the arms the other way. So when you push the legs away, arms come over your head. Same for you, Simon. So you're opening from both ends. Yep, that's it, that's it. You open, then close. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good job. Have a rest. Take that band off. Okay, they're nice and spicy, aren't they? Okay. Right. So you're in a kneeling position to the rear of your mat. And, oh, we need loads of kit tonight. Sorry, you need a block. I think all of you have a block, don't you? Okay, right. Now I'm just going to turn and face you. Now what we're looking at doing is bringing the block so it's inside the elbow and inside the wrist, both arms. Yep, so I'm just going to hold it up over my head so you can actually see what's happening. So my wrists are squeezing into the block, my elbows are squeezing into the block, and already this is pretty torturous. So get those elbows to squeeze in. I don't want to see any gaps between the edge of the block and the elbows. Okay, so ow, I know you can't hear me, but you're like this. So squeeze in. Okay, right, try and get those elbows in, Karen. I know you obviously you have a iffy arm, yeah, but just the best you can. Okay, right, so from there, what you're going to do is squeeze yourself down into a right angle position with the arms, and then push up. Please do not let the elbows come away from the block. Squeeze down and reach up. Yeah, it's really strong. Can I just see if anyone's finding that easy?
No.
Okay, it really shouldn't be easy. If it's easy, I know you're not doing it right. Okay, yeah, so bend those elbows to me there, Lindsay. That's it, that's it. So they're at right angles like that. Now come up over your head. Squeeze the block, squeeze the block. Yeah, always, so tough. Okay, right, so from there, what we're going to do is find a position down onto the mat because we're going to do an elbow plank. But what I'm trying to get you to do is make sure that your arms are in the right position. So the sensation that you are feeling with this block, this is what we're going to do in an elbow plank. Because when I see people do elbow planks, they tend to do it like this, in like a triangle position. So I want you to actually really activate into that box. So you're going to use the block and you're going to spiral in through your lats, so these big muscles under here, to get that position. Okay, so now the block is going to be like at the top end of your mat where your head would be for a plank. And then you're going to resume that same position where your elbows are squeezed in. And I want you to squeeze this block as hard as you can with your elbows. So start to activate your chest and then squeeze in from the wrist and then try and feel like you're pulling the block towards you. Then you're going to come into the actual plank. Okay, so even with your knees down, this should be very strong. So I want you to try and push the forearms into the mat. Okay, yeah, really push the forearms in. So the whole of the forearm should be touching the mat. You're squeezing that block in nice and tight, and you're trying to pull it down in towards you. You can keep your knees down, of course you can. Yeah, just watch that hollow shape in your back there for me, Elaine. That's it, that's it. Nice correction. Okay, and then take yourself back to a child's pose or whatever you feel like you want to do, just to take that little bit of relief there. Now, if anyone felt it in their low back, A, you're not working through your core properly. B, you've probably switched off your glutes and your quads. So in a plank, you actually do need quite a lot of thigh. And also drawing those inner thighs in together as well. Okay, so we are going to do that again. We're actually going to do three rounds, so you've got another 2 to go. But each time, I'm not worried if your knees are down. I'm worried about that squeeze with the elbows. Yeah, so that squeeze of the elbows and pulling down and pushing the elbows into the mat. Okay, so you're going to go again. Yep. So I'm just going to sort of watch you. Please keep the knees down if you need to. Yeah, squeeze into that block. Open up the upper back. Yeah, so you try and really open up that upper back. So it's like you're trying to actually sort of you know, like protract the shoulder blades. Okay, so you're trying to round the upper back, so you can feel like you're really pushing in and activating all of those big muscles. Yep, just watch that lumbar curve again for me there, Elaine. So just try and tuck your bottom under more. That's it. Okay, whiz into child's pose. Yeah, good job. Now, if your elbows are coming away and they're starting to creep out, you know, it could be to do with your top. For example, if you've got a long sleeve top on, you can start to slide with your elbows inside your top. So it could be that, or it could be just you don't have quite the chest strength to pull in. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to pull in and down. So chest and big muscles underneath your armpits, so the pulling muscles. Okay, the rest of the body just is going to go with the same as you would normally with plank. Okay, so I'd much rather you keep those knees down, yeah, and you work on that squeezing in than taking it to too high and losing the upper body, because this is quite upper body focused. Yeah, the way I'm teaching it to you tonight is quite upper body focused. That is an amazing line there, Lorna and Chris. Yeah, very good lines. Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah, good work there, AD. You get extra points for being late.
I was waiting for you this time.
Okay, so take yourself back into child's pose. AD, entirely up to you if you want to stop or carry on for, another 10 minutes.
Oh, thank you.
I'll put the camera on you.
That's not fair.
Okay, so the best way to stretch with that one, I find, is actually like instead of a traditional child's pose, you sort of come to like it's called a rabbit pose. So instead of your arms over your head, you let your hands come round towards your feet and let your elbows flop towards the mat, and thus your upper back will broaden. Palms stay facing up. Yeah, so you can put something underneath your forehead if you wish, if your forehead doesn't touch the floor or block or something like that. But just let those arms sort of really open. Okay, yeah. So you let those shoulder blades just pull apart. Okay, very good. Right, so I'm just thinking if there's anything else that I want to give you from that list, because my iPad's gone off. can't remember what was on my plan. Who? Lorna hasn't got a ball. Lorna, you're inside, aren't you? Have you got a foam roller inside? No. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do, because Penny hasn't got a ball either. I thought you had a ball, Penny. No, and Lindsay hasn't got one either, have you? Right, okay. So we're going to do it differently. We're going to lay on our front. Arms are going to come over your head. Okay, so palms are going to be flat on the floor. And we're going to activate our upper back muscles by pulling the floor towards you. So I want you to reach your fingers as far as you possibly can. So you're sort of going to walk them away until you actually can't stretch anymore. It's a bit like you're on a rack. You know, those old things where they used to stretch you and pull you apart. That's a pleasant thing, isn't it, to think about? Right, anyway, so the heels of your hands and the flats of your hands are now onto the mat. You're going to push down through the hands, and then you're going to pull the mat towards you. So push down with your hands, pull the floor, pull the mat towards you, and try and pull it from your upper back. Okay, so you're pushing down and you're pulling in. Yeah, so you should be able to feel that this is actually very hard work. You should be able to feel like you're working underneath your armpits and through the big muscles in your back. Okay, so reset, stretch those fingers all the way, stretch them as far as you can. Yeah, creep them away, all the way up. Push the hands into the mat, really spread the fingers, push down with the hands, and then pull down as though you're trying to pull the floor towards you. You should be able to feel like you get a big pull sensation from underneath the armpits, sort of around the back of but sort of the back side of the rib cage. So, you know, sort of underneath the armpits, sort of that sort of area. Okay, so I want to go good 8 of these. So every time you're going to reset, walk those fingers up. Yeah, and then pull with straight arms. So remember, it needs to be straight arms, otherwise all you're going to do is start to activate your chest where you're bending the arms, and you won't get that quite so effective sort of like scapular sort of depression type of feeling. Now, any tension in your neck, it means you're pushing down too hard without pulling. Yeah, so it's a push down, but it's more of a push down pull. Okay, yeah, so hopefully no low back there, Avril. Okay, so not there. Yeah, we don't want to feel it there. So you should not feel this in your low back. You should feel this so you should feel it in the lats basically. Yeah, big muscles down the side of the back at the top. Okay, and then take yourself back to child's pose. Yeah, when you're done. Now this time in your child's pose, you're actually going to stretch that area we've just been working. So your child's pose, now you'll reach those fingers as far forwards as you can get them. So it's like you're, again, trying to pull your fingers away from your tailbone, and let your head sort of come through the gap, and then just slowly walk your fingers over to one side, and the side that you're over, you're going to reach those opposite fingers away from you to feel it in the side. It doesn't matter if your bottom is touching your heels or not, but just try and round your pelvis. Yeah, so you are sort of into a little bit of a curled back there. And then walk the hands over the other side. So nice big side stretch. And then when you've done both sides, you're going to bring yourself to a seat. And I'm going to give you an option of 2 stretches here. Okay, so you can either come to the QL straddle stretch, which is this one. Oh God, I'm so stiff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this one. Oh, I'm hurting today. That one, or a mermaid reach. So either with the legs in butterfly or a mermaid reach. Now the most effective one for the back is the straddle. Okay, where we turn, and that will get more into the low part of the back. So I know Karen, you were holding your back a little bit after those leg kicks, so this would be better for you. Same for you, Avril, because I saw you holding your low back too. So you actually turn your chest to the sky. You don't lean forwards over that leg. You turn it away, and then you reach the top arm up. Okay, so you feel it in the low part of the side of the back. Now, please feel free to sit on as many blocks as you need, a bit like Princess and the Pea. Yep. So if you can, if you are more bendy and you can touch the foot, it's almost more beneficial to reach past the foot than it is to go for the foot. So you actually are twisted more in that one. Okay, so I can reach it one side, and the other side I have to wait a minute or so before I can actually get there. Yeah. Big, big, tight muscles. Okay, so you're going to come all the way up nice and slowly out of those ones. And then you want to lay yourself on your back for a wide 90-90 leg position. So if you're not sure what that means, I'll show you in a seat. So it's basically like a very big mermaid. Yeah, so you sort of lie onto your back and just let your feet come really wide, and then the knees come all the way over to one side, so you can really get into the top of the hip and the quad. Yeah, if your feet aren't wide to start with, you won't get into the hip flexor and you won't get into the quad. It just won't get in there. So try and keep the pelvis quite still with this one. So it's not a spinal twist, it's different. Okay, and then take the legs up over the other side if you haven't already. So just let that weight sink into the mat. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. So one knee is likely to touch, the other one is probably hovering. Okay, and then we're actually going to go to the spinal twist now. So you can cross one leg over the other if you wish, or you can just knees together and roll and let the bottom roll this time. So Chris, you'll take your legs the other way with that cross. That's it. Yeah. So you're looking for the top knee. So the crossed knee, the one that's coming over that knee, is sort of trying to reach the floor. Try and keep the shoulder blades so they're on the mat there. Okay, and then nice and gently up. Do the cross leg version if you wish. Otherwise, just roll the knees over to the other side. So make sure this is a spinal twist, this one. So this is less about the hips. I know you do feel it in the outer hip, but it is more about the back. Okay, and then all the way up to the top. And bring your knees into your chest. So a nice big stretch through the back now. Through the low back. Have a little roll from side to side if you need it. And then from there, we will come into our relaxation for the last few minutes. Now, just remember that I only give you sort of maintenance stretches. Yep. So, you know, I do want you, and I almost say require you to do other stretching in your week. So that can be anything. It can be with me, it can be with somebody else, it can be on your mat on your own, but I do really need you to try and do some mobility as well. So bring yourself down to that comfortable position, and however that looks for you, as long as it feels comfortable. Turn your lights out, put an eye mask on, whatever helps you to switch off. And just start to let your body soften to the mat. As you exhale, take that breath out. Just try and soften your glutes, your chest, your jaw. And it's so good to just find that time to analyze your body, thinking of any areas that, you know, you can just try and relax. So we all hold tension in different places in our bodies. And when we are still like this, you can sort of really think about and be aware of anything that is holding that tension. Nice and slowly begin to just have some soft movements through your fingers, your wrists, your toes, your ankles, your jaw, rolling your head from side to side. And then when you're ready, roll over to a seat. And use your hands, push yourself up. And well done. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for joining. Sorry we had so many things that we needed tonight. It was definitely prop night. Yeah, so good job. See you all next week.